Now we will move to the next subtopic, dynamic of technological change. Let's get started. Are you wondering what is actually meant by dynamic of technological change? Technological change is the concept of technological diversity that is considerable, generally significant in economic, involve the invention of technology and the release as open source via research and development, the continual improvement of the technologies, and the diffusion of the technologies throughout the industry or society. In short, the various changes in technology leads to an increase in the productivity of labor, capital, and other production sectors. Now, we move to the next part, that is process of technological change. The telephone is an example of product that has undergone a technological change. It has undergone many different changes over the years that have been made it more efficient. So, process of products such as telephone move through technological change in three stages. The first one is invention. Invention is the act of creating new technology that involve a new scientific or technical idea. The next one is innovation. Innovation may refer to discovering a new way and which to use or apply existing technology. There are five main attributes of innovative technology. The first one is relative advantage, means the product or behavior is perceived as being better than the alternative by the person adopting the innovation. The second one is compatibility, refers to how the innovation aligns with the adopter's lifestyle. The third one is complexity. It's how easy or difficult in innovation is to understand. The fourth one is durability. That is referred to the process of testing the innovation to see if or how well it works. And the last one is observability, involves seeing the product or behavior in action. So the last stages is diffusion. Diffusion is the process by which new idea, product, or behavior is accepted by the market. Technological revolution. Do you know Industry 4.0 is the origin of new revolution and the much held Fourth Industrial Revolution? This is because of a fusion of leading edge production technique and smart system that integrate with organization and people. The fusion of technologies and their interaction across the physical, digital, and biological domain make the Fourth Industrial Revolution fundamentally different from previous revolution. Now, to analyze how we have reached the Fourth Industrial Revolution, it's a good idea to look back at the previous three industrial revolutions, how they changed our life and the world when they occur. Let's take a quick look on each revolution together. The first industrial revolution followed the proto-industrialization period. It started at the end of the 18th century to the beginning of the 19th. The biggest changes came in the industry and the form of mechanization. Mechanization was the reason why agriculture started to be replaced by the industry as the backbone of the societal economy. And also, the invention of the steam engine was the reason for the creation of a new type of energy that later on helped speed up the manufacturing of railroad, thus accelerating the economy. Following the first industrial revolution, almost a century later, we see the world go through the second. It started at the end of the 19th century with massive technological advancement and the field of industries that helped the emergence of a new source of energy such as electricity, gas, and oil. The result of this revolution was the creation of the internal combustion engine that started to reach its full potential. At the important points of the second industrial revolution were the development for steel demand chemical synthesis and method of communication such as telegraph and the telephone. Finally, the invention of the automobile and the plane And the beginning of the 20th century are the reason why, to this day, the second industrial revolution is considered the most important one. Next, and the second half of the 20th century, another century passes, and we bear witness to the third industrial revolution. The third industrial revolution brought forth the rise of electronics, telecommunication, and of course computers. Through the new technology, the third industrial revolution opened the doors to space expedition, research, and biotechnology. And the world of industries, two major inventions, programmable logic controllers and robots, helped give rise to an era of high-level automation. Industry 4.0 started in the dawn of the third millennium with the one thing that everyone uses every single day. Are you wondering what is that? That is the internet. We can see the transition from the first industrial revolution that rooted for the technological phenomenon all the way to Industry 4.0 that develops virtual reality world, allowing us to bend the law of physics. What can we say here? The fourth industrial revolution creates a world in which virtual and physical systems of manufacturing cooperate with each other in a flexible way at the global level.
New technologies revolutionize society, but new technologies can also be disruptive, at least until we can manage the risk. This has been TÜV SÜD's role for over 150 years. To date, we have witnessed 4 major technological revolutions. The first was powered by steam. Following a devastating explosion, 22 industrialists united to set up a steam boiler inspection association in Mannheim, Germany in 1866. By establishing one of the world's first inspection associations, our visionary founders gave rise to an enduring legacy and spawned a global industry. Working to increase safety while giving people the confidence to trust in steam power, it was the forerunner to today's TÜV SÜD. TÜV stands for Technical Inspection Association in German. Engines and electricity were the breakthroughs driving the second technological revolution. As society and commerce advanced, so too did the Inspection Association's expertise. We expanded to electrical engineering, lifts and machinery at the turn of the 20th century, with our first vehicle inspections carried out in 1906. The hum of computers heralded the arrival of the third technological revolution. Our ability to send information worldwide as strings of ones and zeros launched the information age and sowed the seeds of globalization. TÜV SÜD received its first international contracts in the 1960s. With this new global requirement, we expanded our range of services to facilitate trade by providing quality assurance of goods across borders and global market regulatory services. In recent decades, our international expansion has been matched by our forays into new areas of expertise: energy, management systems, consumer products, food, medical technology, real estate, infrastructure, and more. At the same time, the various TÜV organizations in Germany's southern states were brought together to form TÜV SÜD, which means TÜV South. Today, we stand at the dawn of the fourth technological revolution, Industry 4.0. Smart factories, intelligent software, and autonomous vehicles promise ever greater levels of productivity and efficiency. But this potential will only be realized when people have confidence in these new technologies. This is our task for tomorrow, a task we are uniquely positioned to accomplish as we continue to pursue our goal of making the world a safer place by providing future-oriented quality, safety, and sustainability solutions.
So let's move to the examples of technological change. So for today, we will go through these 3 examples that we usually use in our daily life, that is vehicle, telephone, and also computer. Technological change the automotive industry. You may be surprised to find electric vehicle not a new concept. The first automobile actually ran on steam and also electricity. Despite improvement, there were still a lot of shortcomings. Steam-powered vehicles took a very long time to start up, and the range was very limited. And next one is Carl Benz in 1885, who invented the first gas-powered car. The first car didn't have a windshield, doors, tensioner, or even a round steering. However, it can be said that Carbon's first gas-powered car was the major catalyst for the production of modern automobiles, as many automakers followed in his footsteps, trying to create their own version of car. Okay, the third one is vehicle features take center stage. Along with mass production came new features, some of the first being speedometers, seatbelt, windshield, and rear view mirror. Believe it or not, the car started to get fancy with power steering, cruise control, 3-point seatbelt, and also the heated seats. Okay, last but not least, there's the modern vehicle features. With technology advancing, this brings us to modern cars with a Bluetooth, hard drive, advanced safety system, GPS, Wi-Fi, and even the ability to parallel park themselves. That seems crazy, but it is true. And driverless cars that once seemed like something out of science fiction film are now close to the reality. Cell phone technology changed over the last 40 years. As you can see down below, the telephone technology itself improved over time, starting back in 1984, especially when the Motorola Dynaplex 800X was first made commercially available. As such, the evolution of mobile phone truly began with the Motorola Dyna, as it was completely portable, despite weighing it at almost 1 kilogram. 5 years later, Motorola released the Microtech 980X. This much more portable device was designed to fit inside a shape pocket. Then in 1993, they released the Nokia 1011, which was the first GSM phone using digital networks rather than analog. After that, Nokia dominance began to slip in the early 2000s, with Sony Ericsson, LG, and Samsung joining the evolution of mobile phones and becoming major players in the market. Flip phones were common, with the Samsung SGHD100 employing a dual screen design. And the next one, in 2010, a mobile phone technology developed more rapidly than ever before. With the rise in photo sharing application, has come a significant development in the camera quality of mobile phones, with more lenses being added to rear camera and improved optics. And now, between 2004 and 2006, the term smartphone started to appear, a significant milestone in the evolution of technology. Phones began to justly bridge the gap between something you used to make call and send text message to something altogether more useful. Major technology development that lead to the computing device. The first computer system used vacuum tubes for circuitry and magnetic drums for memory and were often enormous, taking up entire room. However, the using of great deal of electricity, the first computer generated a lot of heat, which was often the cause of malfunction. The word C transistor replaced vacuum tubes in the second generation of computer. The transistor was far superior to the vacuum tube, allowing computer to become smaller, faster, cheaper, and more energy efficient than their first generation predecessor. Okay, the third one is the development of the integrated circuit was the hallmark of the third generation of the computer. Transistors were miniaturized and placed on silicon chips. Next, the microprocessor brought the fourth generation of computer. As the small computer become more powerful, they could be linked together to form network, which eventually lead to development of the internet. Fourth generation computer also saw the development of QAs, the mouse and handheld device. The fifth generation computing device based on artificial intelligence are still in development. Though there are some applications such as voice recognition that are being used today, the use of parallel processing and superconductor is helping to make artificial intelligence a reality. Quantum computation and molecular nanotechnology will really change the face of computer in years to come. We all have likely experienced the impact of technology. Now let's take a look at both good and bad technological change has impacted our world. Firstly, creates new product and process. When telephone were first invented, the object was to be able to verbally communicate with someone. Due to technological change, we have multiple ways to communicate using our phone, such as text, email, or talk. Secondly, increased efficiency, lower costs. Technology makes it possible to perform everyday tasks faster and with less energy on our part. For instance, some people have a vacuum cleaner robot. Instead of spending 30 minutes vacuuming, they push a button and go do something else. That's efficiency. Thirdly, helps economies evolve. People are able to increase the ways in which they create wealth. When one technology change occurs, it changes how we live. But besides all these good, there are some negative aspects of this technological change. The first one is malfunction. By adding more machine and automated processes means that less labor is required. Secondly, extreme dependability. While technology has certainly increased productivity in many industries, it also brings it crashing to a halt because more people becoming more and more depending on technology. As a result of this dependence, many workers are losing a skill. Last but not least, contribution to environmental issues. Because manufacturing technology means more equipment and technology being incorporated with production facilities, which has negative impact on the environment due to the various fuel sources such as gases and chemicals.